Shalom. All praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem HaKadosh. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of GMS, to the true leaders of Israel today. And salutations to all of the Akim who do this work in truth and sincerity, who are risking their lives and their freedoms to do so, as well as the scattered Israelites who come looking like the heathen but are not, by way of their forefathers' seeds who is like men. The true name of the Most High is Yahweh, and his son's name is Yahushai. And the Lord's holy chosen people are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as we're the ones who suffer under the curses in the book of Deuteronomy. My name is Ezekiel, and I have a prophecy update regarding the prophecy of Ezekiel chapter 38. So here it is, in Ezekiel chapter 38, and verse 2. Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him, which is talking about the Russians, as they dwell in the land that Gog and Magog once dwelt, and say, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, which is talking about the Russians. And I'll turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I'll bring thee forth, and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all them clothed with all sorts of armor. So Yahweh Shemishah is going to put the spirit upon Russia to go to war. Even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. And Yahweh Shemishah is going to provide Russia with allies. And we can see, based off of current events, the allies of Russia, which includes Iran, China, those that are part of the BRICS nations. Then it mentions the allies in the scriptures, Persia, which today they are known as Iran. Ethiopia and Libya, these are so-called African countries, which goes back to the biblical Hamites, all of them with shield and helmet. And the relationship between Russia and the so-called African countries has been building up for over the past few years. Putin has made several trips to Africa to strengthen that relationship. And then when you look at all of the countries that are part of BRICS, you can see that alliance on that end. Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togarmah of the north quarters, and all his bands, and many people with thee. Now, this is talking about Turkey. And it's the same situation where Turkey now dwells in that land today, where Gomer and Togarmah once dwelt. Be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, and thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. So Russia is a guard unto its allies. So Russia is a guard especially unto Iran. And look at what's going on right now between America and the state of Israel, the Israelis, and Iran. Look at that situation. We're very close to the prophecy of World War III, as it says in Revelation chapter 11, verse 14. The second woe is past, talking about World War II. And behold, the third woe cometh quickly, which is World War III. We're on the brink of that. So what we're seeing right now is all of these nations having the spirit put upon them to really go to war. And that war is going to occur over there in the so-called Middle East, which is Western Asia. That's going to be the area of contention. But focusing on the prophecy at hand, Turkey. So this is saying, the prophecy, that Turkey is going to join the side of Russia and her allies. But right now, Turkey is a part of NATO. So there's going to have to be some things that happen where Turkey simply just moves away from its current alliance to work with Russia and that side, as it says here. Turkey is going to be a part of the side with Russia. So then when we take a look at current events from Fox News, echoing Hamas, Erdogan reportedly calls for Israel's destruction amid push to rekindle ties with Trump. Erdogan is dangerous to the region as well as his own people, as has been proven in recent days, says Israeli foreign minister. Now, Erdogan is the president of Turkey. And then here, look at this. Turkish police pepper spray protesters in Istanbul. There are protests around the world, uproars of the people around the world. And this is a part of Bible prophecy that lets us know that we're at the end, okay, of the rulership of the Edomites. So it says, Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan reportedly called for the destruction of Israel during those prayers at the the Kamlika Mosque in Istanbul on Sunday. The Jerusalem Post reported that Erdogan said, "May their false god, for the sake of his name, whatever, destroy and devastate Zionist Israel." His call for the annihilation of the Jewish state has drawn fierce condemnation, particularly from Israeli officials. So, I mean, this is a complete and utter declaration that Turkey is against the state of Israel. And it's not new news per se. It's just escalated to a very serious and heavy point because for the past months, Turkey has had something to say regarding how Israel has been dealing with its situation, right? With the whole Hamas situation and whatever else. Turkey's been bringing them up and all these kinds of things and against them. And the state of Israel is America's biggest ally. So America will always defend the state of Israel, which America serves them, really, when you look at the amount of money and defense spending and everything that has been pumped into the state of Israel, right? That's going to further destroy and separate the relationship between Turkey and America is a part of NATO. But even with that going on, NATO and the EU are separating themselves from America. So it's really America and Israel versus the world. That's where it's heading towards. All right. So what we're seeing here is Bible prophecy where Turkey moves away from its current alliance and will join with Russia and her alliance. This is all that's happening. Okay, because if you're against the state of Israel, then America is going to be against you as well. So where does that leave Turkey? Okay. Well, the prophecy already let us know that they're going to be joining with Russia. So here it is at hand. We're in those times, man. So it's just a back and forth between them. In response to his remarks, Israeli Foreign Minister Gideon Sa'ar stated on X, the dictator Erdogan revealed his anti-S face adding, anti-S, okay. Adding that Erdogan is dangerous to the region as well as his own people, as has been proven in recent days. Sa'ar added to the widespread protests in Turkey and added, "Let's hope NATO members understand how dangerous he is and not before it's too late." Meanwhile, the relationship between America and NATO is breaking apart, which means that the relationship between the Israelis and NATO is breaking apart, right? The state of Israel isn't even a part of NATO, even though it has been declared that they are a quote-unquote unofficial member of NATO, all right? But these are the Edomites. A lot of infighting with the Edomites, man. And a kingdom that is not unified has an end, right? That's what the scriptures say. But this is what's going on, man. They're going back and forth against each other. And, you know, Turkey is going to join Russia and her allies. That's point blank. That's the scriptures. That's the prophecy. And then look at this extra information right here from Google, Turkey's strongest army. So look at this. Turkey's military is the strongest in the Middle East, Western Asia, and the second largest standing force in NATO after the United States. So really, you know, looking at how it's all going and the separation from of NATO and the EU from America, right? As the scriptures say, the beast shall hate the whore, right? The whore is America and the beast is NATO, right? So what this really is saying is that Turkey is actually the strongest military force in NATO, right? It says besides America, America's number one, obviously, right? But it's Turkey, and then Turkey is going to be joining with Russia. So the second most powerful military in NATO is going to be joining with Russia. You can see how easily America and the state of Israel are going to lose when they're facing Russia, Turkey, Iran, and the rest of the allies of Russia. And the scriptures already let us know that they are going to lose. Okay, as it says in Jeremiah 50 and verse 45, "Therefore hear ye the counsel of the Lord Yahweh that he had taken against Babylon," which is America, and his purposes that he had purpose against the land of the Chaldeans, the Edomites. "Surely the least of the flock," talking about the Israelis, "shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them." So The Israelis are going to do things, the state of Israel is going to be doing things to force America to war, to force America to its defense. And look at current events and what's going on right now. Look at it. Observe it. A quick Google search will show you that it's all coming. You know what I'm saying? Like, we are truly in those times of the end game of Esau's kingdom. And so the prophecies are going to be manifesting. Okay? So we know that America and the state of Israel, they're going to lose over there. And then the final judgment is that America is going to be destroyed by thermonuclear fire. America's allies are going to turn against her as well and blaze her up. Revelation 17 verse 16, and the 10 horns, which is the European Union, which thou sawest upon the beast, which is NATO, these shall hate the whore, which is America, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. So they're going to shoot missiles at America, right? NATO and the EU. And so that's why we're seeing the breaking apart of the relationship between America and EU and NATO. It's all a part of Bible prophecy. All right? Yeah, man, this is at hand. It's gonna get really bad really soon. Wow. Okay, Bible prophecy, man, Bible prophecy. So that's it. Just a very quick update regarding the situation with Turkey and where it stands, and the prophecy of Ezekiel chapter 38. All eyes on the prophecies. With that, all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shemishai Bashim Kodesh. Shalom.